What did you say when Biden called you and said he wasn't running? Well, I immediately thought of him first. No, you didn't. Fracking. Dana Bash had her dead to rights. It's like, you said this. I have the quote. I'm reading it to you. You said there should be a ban on fracking. Why can't they just go, yeah, you know what? I got it wrong. I was talking to the wrong people. She's had this ridiculous thing.
Bill Maher just torched CNN for shamelessly propping up Kamala Harris while relentlessly attacking Donald Trump. Delivering a fiery critique the left won't like one bit. He slammed the network's blatant bias and obsession with twisting headlines to favor Democrats, calling it the very reason Harris went down in flames. Maher's takedown wasn't just sharp, it was one of his most explosive critiques in years, and it's sure to sting.
And is the place where both sides can watch. And
I'm talking about the people on CNN, and I know what the conservative side of America thinks, and I don't blame them. They were just gushing about how great a speech it was. And I think she did fine. I didn't think it was as good as they were making.
If you remember, CNN practically lost its mind every time Kamala Harris managed to deliver a halfway coherent line. A simple "we must do better" was hyped as a groundbreaking policy vision, dissected from every angle as if she had just solved world hunger. They rolled out experts, academics, and endless talking heads to paint her as a political mastermind with all the answers. Spoiler alert, she wasn't. And that's where Bill Maher did the unthinkable. He called out CNN's shameless cheerleading. He saw it for what it really was: desperate, dishonest, and downright embarrassing. Instead of informing the public, CNN was running PR, and Maher, with his trademark sting, ripped straight through their glossy facade.
This look like tokenism. It's kind of like the same as The View.
I don't think that you can say that CNN is anything but fair. Everyone who was speaking last night, it's not like they were all Democrats. Dana Bash, Jake Tapper, Abby Phillip.
They come across
giving analysis.
They come across that way. In a moment like that, it was like 5-1.
Caitlin Collins, in her best nothing to see here tone, tried to defend CNN by pointing out that they do cover Republican conventions and occasionally feature GOP guests on their shows. Nice try, but Maher wasn't having it. He acknowledged they bring conservatives on, but reminded everyone it's never a fair fight. The panels are always stacked 5-1, with the token Republican sitting there like cannon fodder. Then came the knockout punch. Maher compared CNN's setup to The View, Bruta, the so-called serious news outlet, running panels that look more like a daytime talk show circus where one lone conservative gets outnumbered, mocked, and steamrolled by a liberal mob.
Do not trust CNN because it is so staunchly anti-Trump. He's not wrong, because they'll put on people like Adam Kinzinger or Anna Navarro, George Conway, and call them Republicans, or pretend that's being balanced by putting them on by saying, oh, see, these conservatives don't even like Trump. Only Scott Jennings over there can be called a conservative. And Maher is right. It's almost always 5-1 on shows they portray as news.
It's no mystery why so many people don't trust CNN. Their idea of balance is nothing more than tokenism in so-called Republicans who either can't make a strong case or barely qualify as conservatives at all. These voices aren't there to challenge the narrative. They're there as props, punching bags for the liberal panel to flex against. That kind of hypocrisy drives Bill Maher crazy, and it turns viewers off. 2. People aren't stupid. They know when the deck is stacked. And that's why conservatives, and even plenty of independents, are tuning out. CNN isn't delivering real debates, just putting on theater.
Do you have the time? Your answer is not, I do. If you, do you have the time?
Right.
Yes, it's 4 o'clock.
Well,
you have to understand that words don't always mean what they mean.
And when Tim Walz said, like, the American people, I talk like they do. No, you don't. No, you don't. You're a huge liar, like all politicians are. I don't care, by the way. I've always said this about politics. They're all going to lie. They're politics. It's what they lie about. Mm-hmm. I don't give a shit what you did during the Iraq War. You were in the Guard. So I don't understand why they just can't. You're just insulting.
Bill Maher didn't hold back as he tore into both Kamala Harris and Tim Walz for the blatant lies they dropped during their softball interviews. Walz, flashing his practiced political grin, has been caught exaggerating or outright lying about his role in certain political and even military events. Trying desperately to sell himself as a seasoned warrior statesman, Harris has her own history of tall tales, from falsely claiming she'd been to the border when she hadn't, to her team spinning the laughable excuse that she wasn't on Joe Rogan's podcast because Rogan supposedly refused her. Maher wasn't buying any of it. He cut straight through the smoke and mirrors, calling out their dishonesty for what it was. To him, this isn't just politics as usual, it's deception, dressed up as credibility, made worse by a media all too willing to give them a free pass.
And, what did you say when Biden called you and said he wasn't running? Well, I immediately thought of him first. No, you didn't. Fracking. Dana Bash had her dead to rights. It's like, you said this. I have the quote. I'm reading it to you. You said there should be a ban on fracking. Why can't they just go, yeah, you know what? I got it wrong. I was talking to the wrong people. She's had this ridiculously high turnover. Like 42 of 47 people as vice president are gone. Just blame it on them. You know why these assholes are gone? Gave me the wrong information.
That's vintage Kamala Harris dodged the question, shift the blame, and hope nobody catches on. It's practically her political signature. Take fracking, for example. She flat out lied about her past stance, rewriting history the moment it became inconvenient. Then came the infamous word salad moment. An answer so stuffed with empty phrases it could have won an award. Asked what she could do better than Joe Biden, she didn't offer vision or policy, just a rambling string of half-formed thoughts, stitched together to sound deep but mean nothing. Maher couldn't resist highlighting it, because it perfectly sums up her style. Say a lot, mean very little, and rely on the media to spin it as brilliance. The problem for her is, more and more people are starting to see right through the act.
The bug up there is about IVF. I certainly understand abortion. There's a baby growing in the womb. I get it. It's going to be a human. Doesn't bother me, but yes, it is murder. Again, doesn't bother me that it is.
You're not supposed to mess with that. That's what many people think. You're supposed to let.
Oh, I see.
Great man upstairs.
Oh,
yeah, it goes back to that It goes back to that stem cell debate that George Bush had.
Yes.
Remember? It goes like the Terry Schiavo. It's just like life, laugh. We support laugh.
Bill Maher is dead wrong on this one, and the gap isn't even close. He openly defends the taking of innocent, unborn lives. Children punished not for their own choices but for the recklessness of their parents. That glaring contradiction is exactly why Maher will never fully align with conservatives, because the moment he does, his hypocrisy would be laid bare. On one hand, he never hesitates to torch the Catholic Church for its failures in protecting children, and, fair enough, that criticism is deserved. But on the other, he casually dismisses the destruction of unborn lives, as if those children don't matter. That isn't just inconsistent, it's grotesque. Maher loves to posture as a bold truth-teller, yet he's blind to the most obvious truth of all. You can't claim to stand for justice while excusing the innocent paying the ultimate price for adult.
Explains Donald Trump's appeal to young men. I saw today that the gender gap, I think, is the widest. It's very predictable. The women are much more for Kamala and the men are much more for Trump generally.
But it's not predictable if you look at past elections where voters under 30, generally men and women, went for Democrats. This is remarkable. I think to explain it...
Wait, you're talking about under 30?
Yeah, the under 30
What's going
gender
on
gap.
there?
It's very different than past elections.
Harris is quickly losing support among young men, the very group that gave Democrats a crucial boost in 2020, and the reasons are obvious. For years, the party has pushed narratives that have steadily emasculated men, leaving many feeling sidelined, diminished, or outright irrelevant. Instead of correcting course, Harris doubled down. When it came time to pick a running mate, she passed up the chance to energize younger voters by elevating a younger man, opting instead for an older, safe choice that did nothing to rebuild trust with disillusioned men. Trump, on the other hand, played it differently, choosing a younger running mate and sending a clear message that he values the strength, energy, and future of young men. The contrast couldn't be more stark, and it's a big reason Harris is bleeding support from a demographic Democrats can't afford to.
20. Young men and young women voted for Joe Biden at roughly the same rate over the last 4 years. And now with Kamala Harris, young women are voting for Kamala Harris at that same level, if not more. Kamala Harris barely moved the needle with young men. They have gone more toward Trump. There's a lot of reasons for that. I think Trump has exploited culture war stuff. He appears on hyper masculine podcasts, and he seems like a fun bro who's not going to ban your zins,
9. These people just don't get it. They roll their eyes and sneer at podcasts that promote healthy masculinity, as if strong men are some sort of cultural threat. But here's the reality they refuse to acknowledge. Strong men build strong families, strong communities, and ultimately strong nations. Weak men, on the other hand, breed chaos and dependence, the very thing the left seems eager to encourage. America has already weighed in on this debate. In both 2016 and 2020, millions rallied behind Donald Trump, a candidate who unapologetically embodied strength, resilience, and defiance against the feminization of our institutions and policies. That movement wasn't just about politics, it was cultural rebellion. People were tired of being told masculinity is toxic. They wanted leadership rooted in toughness, conviction, and unapologetic confidence. And like it or not, That demand for strength isn't going anywhere.
This could actually be, this is a real issue for Kamala Harris, though. Like, this could be fatal for her campaign. So if Democrats need to win 60% of the youth vote to win the White House. Hillary came up short. Obama did it. Biden did it. Kamala Harris is right now at like 55% of the youth vote. If she doesn't get to 60, she could lose the election. And it's because young men, Gen Z men.
Kamala Harris is staring down a political disaster if she doesn't address the growing exodus of young men from her camp. This isn't a minor issue. It's a ticking time bomb for her campaign. Young men, once a vital voting bloc for Democrats, are now skeptical, frustrated, and drifting away from her message. Why? Because the party has spent years pushing an agenda that emasculates men, mocks masculinity, and tries to feminize everything in sight. If Harris wants even a fighting chance, the first step is clear. She has to cut the woke virus out of her platform. That means rejecting the idea that strength, toughness, and traditional masculinity are problems to be fixed. Until she does, young men will continue to view her as part of a movement bent on stripping them of purpose. And when Election Day arrives, they'll send a loud message at the ballot box. The brutal truth for Harris and the Democrats is simple. Their war on masculinity is backfiring. Young men feel alienated. Token debates aren't fooling anyone, and hypocrisy runs deep. Bill Maher's critiques only shine a bigger spotlight on the cracks. Unless Harris ditches the woke agenda and starts respecting strength, she's finished, because come Election Day, young men won't be cheering her on. They'll be voting her out. And that wraps up today's video. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to hit like and subscribe for more content like this.